Okay, so to the best of my knowledge, we have covered 2 orders so far. And some of you are lacking that paper. That's my understanding. Just one? Okay. Okay, so bear with me for just a moment. Okay, to the best of my understanding, this is where we had left off with, correct? So, okay, left off with, stopped. It all means the same thing. So, what's true about monotremes? Yeah, they got web feet, they lay eggs. And the main characteristic for marsupials would be what? Yes, it's live young, unlike the monotremes, but they're born what? They're born immature, then they develop in the pouch. Okay, so insectivora. Okay, so as you can see, shrews or moles would be the common example, and just since this is in the name, this would imply, yes, they feed on insects. That would be, anyone would agree with that. So why would these animals have this, a pointed snout or something to that effect? Yeah, so to get to their prey items, which is insects. That's right. which when you look at this characteristic right here, they would eat a lot of them. Okay, and that's certainly true, thank goodness, or else we may be crawling in that of cockroaches. Ugh. Fleas, ticks, mites, all of those. Although those aren't insects, those are actually arachnids. Okay. Which is kind of strange, right? Because that's not what you think about when you hear arachnids. When you hear arachnids, you think more so what? Spiders and scorpions, but actually ticks and mites are also arachnids as well. A bed bug would be an insect. Okay. So, what other type of from this life of mammals? There's another one that also feeds on insects. So don't just rely on this. But there's also another one that you saw in that video that also feeds on insects. They're only ones that take to the air. Bats, which is, and we'll get to that eventually, that's order BIOAPR16, but as we continue, okay, these I think have been categorized as something different. I think they used to be considered as edentions. There's an order called edentia, but because of what they can do, when you look at this right here, especially armadillos, as a defense mechanism, what can they do you think? Exactly. And in order to do that, you would have to have this characteristic right here. Okay. We're just soaking all of this up. Okay. There's 15 of these. All right. So there again, feed on insects. Don't rely on that for just the insectivorans. So why would this be possible? Why wouldn't they have to have these? Why would they not need teeth? Yeah, they got a sticky tongue to actually bring them in, and it's not that they gum their prey, but they really don't need to tear it apart. More so just crush it. Now, when we think of insects, you probably would picture grasshoppers, crickets, cockroaches, any one of those that, should you step on them, oh, this is so boring, huh? I just want to make sure we don't fall asleep. Okay? Oh, okay. But when you step on these animals, okay, crickets, cockroaches, grasshoppers, crunch, right? And the reason for that is they have a larger composition of a protein called chitin, to where what these would feed on, different types of insects would not have that. They would not be able to crack that outer shell. Okay, so these are smaller insects, like probably ants, of course. So hence the name, anteaters. Okay. Now, we just said the only flying mammals, BIOAPR. And would you guess that they're the only animals that use this? No. But a lot of people like to think, oh, they're blind as a bat. And that's essentially true, because at night, where do you find these animals? You saw from the video yesterday, raccoons and skunks go hunting for these actually. And can a skunk or a raccoon see these in the dark? No, because what did they say? It's like in these caves. It's absolutely pitch what? Is anyone in here claustrophobic or anything to that effect? Is anyone, I'm not saying afraid of the dark, but if there's absolutely no light at all, that kind of bother you? I think they kind of would go hand in hand. I just remember, what if someone was playing a cruel trick on some of the containers that we were working on over in Kandahar, one of the things that you have to do to make these containers seaworthy, in other words, so the Navy can carry these things home, is you want that to be sealed tight, so no moisture, nothing gets inside. There's only one way to test that. Actually get inside, and you hear the doors creak shut, and then they latch it, and then leave you, well, not leave you in there, but you got to stand inside, and you look on that seam up and down. Look for any type of light coming in. And it is one of those things. Has anyone ever been in that where you couldn't even see this at all? And where would that be then? Okay. Were you spelunking? I think that's what that's called. You go in a cave, you go spelunking. Was it fun? Okay. But yeah, that's kind of crazy. That some of the things. Did anyone ever watch CSI? The original, not New Orleans. One of the agents gets buried alive, correct? I remember that. And there's a trigger switch on, I would say, the container that they bury him on. In order to do that, don't they attach something to his belt and yank him out and dump dirt on top, and then it goes boom? But that certainly would probably bother someone psychologically. It certainly would myself as well, because you don't know how long you could be buried underneath there. And I would not like that. So when we say blind is a bat, that's essentially true, because they use this echolocation to send sound waves out and wait till they come back. Okay. And one of the aspects is, well, how would you know whether it's up, down, left, right? Owls compensate for this in a different manner. When they hear sounds, there's actually one of their ears is actually higher than the other. Okay, so let's just say their left ear is just slightly lower than their right, just like Jerry over there. So if the sound impulse they pick up first in their left ear, what does that tell where that prey item's located? Lower. They know that it's down. Okay, so they don't know whether to go this direction or this direction. But one of the aspects that we would also notice then is that the parabolic, I'm sure there's a specific term for that, that as that sound comes in their ear, tells them whether it's left or right. That's how they work this out in the dark. And it was actually kind of strange. I was sitting on the couch last night. It was after the local news, and all of a sudden the dog picks up his ears. He's looking around. That's kind of strange. So I open up the back door and hear, woo, woo. I don't know where this owl was, but it's kind of, I wish I could have kind of seen him, because I thought that would be kind of neat. But I do not have those types of locating ears. I want to say it was to the right, but I'm not certain on that. Okay. So we've gone over 5 now. Without looking, can anyone even name those 5? Chiroptera. One starts with an X. Insectivora, Xanthara, Monotremata, Marsupialia. Okay? So it's one of those things, okay? To me, I think rather than drawing structures like what we do in biochemistry, I think rather than, let's say, looking at the structures over and over, I tell them, write them out, because that's how you're going to remember this. Now, with these, I think there's more so visual cues, because some of these you can use to repeat over and over, like feed on insects. Yes, chiropterans do that, insectivorans do that, xantharans do that, okay? Xantharans lack teeth, and a characteristic that you had answered is they can roll up into a ball as a defense mechanism. And in order to do that, how's that possible? Yeah, they have flexible lumbar vertebrae, okay? So you already said that webbed feet, a bill, laying eggs, those are all characteristics of monotremes. So marsupials are a little different because young develop where? Not in eggs, not in the mother's womb, in a pouch, and they're still born live, but they're immature, okay? We're not talking about sophomores now, but see, Lane got it. He's the only one, or maybe the only one that thought it was funny. Was it funny? Maybe. Okay. I do have to drive bus today, so let's see here. We'll move on to those coming up. Now, whether you would want to put humans in this, I don't know. I don't like to picture or describe humans as belonging as primates, okay? But probably the most successful of all the mammals, okay? And there's one reason for that up here. What might that be? Why is this such an advantage? You can process information, you can use logic, okay? Because one of the things we say about natural selection, organisms tend to survive by being strong and fit. You can also survive by being what? Smart. That's why we say if you want to get rid of people, you can, well, I wouldn't say get rid of people, but perhaps we will continue with this next time.